We are ready to go and wing it.
All right, friends, welcome to Battletech Oath of Endosteel, Season 2, Episode 13029, Part 16.
Part 16.
Just as a quick update, we have probably a few weeks left before we come to the finale of this part of the Fourth Secession War. This is the invasion of this planet, at which point, since Radasaurus is finally available, the dream Radasaurus and Grimdark James final battle as the opposition will be here, and it will be the end of part 1 of season 2 as well. It's going to be the end of a lot of arcs.
Amazing.
Solaris Knights is still underway. It's been a long time since we've had an episode, like an official episode of this, so I just wanted to remind you of that. And I am currently preparing for Battletech Episode 1, which will feature several people who have been behind the engine of this channel's Battletech content, but have never been on a show before. Some of them have I don't know that they've played Battletech before, actually. They just, like, paint minis and stuff.
That's cool.
I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to see. Or play the video game. Yeah, so as we were discussing before the stream, you've made literally no progress on your plans. You all have no idea what you're going to do.
Nah.
Anko...
Don't out us like that.
Anko
How dare you?
I want the audience to know that when you guys are like, I don't know what we should do, guys, it's because you spent 6 weeks doing that. Anko Sapaku.
What do you mean 6 weeks? I mean, for the last 6 weeks, we've just been like doing the missions as we try not to die.
That's true.
Anko Sapaku, also known as Anko Khan, is in possession of a rejected attack plan on a supply convoy. It should be noted that if we undergo with this mission, it is a mission to intercept a convoy of pangolin meat. Now, yes, in reality of real life, pangolins are endangered, but in the Battletech future, on a arboreal planet of wonderful old-growth trees, they flourish. In fact, they have become an apex. They aren't quite predators, but maybe we'll call them apex tree protectors. They are one of the most populous non-insectoid forms of life on the planet. So don't worry, when we talk about eating that delicious pangolin meat, none of us have actually had any, and we do not condone eating real pangolins.
Yes.
So the supply convoy is a Draconis Combine team that has been out hunting down food because supply into the capital city has been erratic, and they've been taking what they can from the local populace as much as they think they can get away with without causing a rebellion. But they're running out of people, they're running out of machines, and they're running out of food. The only thing they're in good supply of is ammunition. On the other hand, we know that the Northern Army, aka the Sebastian Bassett Command, is pretty bad. They're surrounded. They're attacked daily. The camp is run by a somewhat psychopathic, narcissistic, corrupt sergeant who we've seen, and more importantly, now we know he never does find the Sapaku agents, which means that they're still free to run around and do things.
Correct.
Very true.
Thank God I didn't invest experience points in investigation, I guess.
Yes.
Way to
but
think ahead.
also, I just like to think that it's because the Sapaku agents are very clever and well trained.
Yeah, sure. You can believe that. We'll let the dice decide.
Wow.
Jasper Hiroka has just got done having several uncomfortable conversations with Yusuf of the Azami, where he continues to thoroughly reject Yusuf, who just wants to serve.
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested in what Jasper wants to do war-wise, because he's the only one of us that in character has any experience with this kind of stuff. Well, I guess, but because Anko wasn't a soldier, right? She just, yeah, like
she was the family's protector. So like she knew about politics and protocol and stewardship, but she didn't necessarily know about like the military organizations, and that was more of Kuro's thing.
All right. I think the idea that we should do is, so we have we already have plans that I have said no to in character about some like half-baked zany high risk high reward plan.
Yep.
Right.
Mhm.
And you took that. Can you remind me again what sorry for everybody watching. Can you remind me again what exactly constituted that plan? It was a raid.
It was the supply convoy of pangolins.
Yeah. Right.
To intercept it on its return, so
Right.
while it's full, and divert it back to the Southern Army Command.
Right.
Yeah, basically, we're trying to get the 2-for-1, denying them food, getting our own food.
Yes.
I mean,
and question, the location of this is great distance away from northern, but not from southern.
Yeah, so you guys are located on the southwestern side of the capital city,
Right.
and that's where the Seppaku estate was before it was burned down and then steamed over several times. The northeastern side towards the ocean coastline is where the
It's the exact
Menshikov
opposite
estate.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the roads, we already know the roads lead west. So you guys are pretty close to where the roads that lead to the forests are.
well, AP, can I just ask why we don't have like a 3D holographic topological map of the entire continent on
Your
Tabletop
characters do.
Simulator? Okay, fair enough. Okay,
Eric,
Well,
were you just asking if AP was going to make us a 3-dimensional
Yeah.
topographical map?
yeah, of
The
course.
thing about maps is as soon as I make one, everybody's going to be like, well, that map
actually-
doesn't have a lot of stuff in it. And I'm like, yeah, that's, I have a
You know,
lot.
AP
I don't know. Because later on, I might be like, well, this is here. And they'll be like, well, why didn't, we passed through that area. Why didn't we ever see it?
All right.
Why isn't it on the map?
So
AP?
it's been a little bit since we played, and I don't.
Yeah.
And the reasons why I didn't want to do the pangolin mission was because it was desperate and it wasn't enough, right? Like it wasn't sufficient. So it wasn't a good victory, right? Like we need a victory and not just like fighting to struggle to survive, right?
So
Like that's what I would say.
And I think Anko's reason for taking it, and after they read it, just for plain context, I think there's probably some level of conversation that she has with, potentially with Yusef, but just to like clarify some things.
Oh boy, let's have that conversation with Yusuf.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Let me put out my thoughts first,
Sure.
and then maybe you can have that conversation. So one of the reasons why I think Anko was curious about this, and also why Eddie as a player was curious about it, is because it does do that two-pronged approach of denying them resources when they're needing of those resources, while providing us with a surplus potentially. And one of the things that Anko knows about that has been brought up a couple of times, but has been shot down because it's very risky, is going to the northern side to reinforce them, because they are currently in a desperate situation. So the pangolin meat would, and basically diverting that convoy, potentially splitting it up, where we go through the southern bastion, drop off some, then go to the north, reinforce and try to support them, and then kind of go towards the center.
Can this be in character? Like, okay, so I feel like you need to because I want to.
We can have this in character,
actually,
but I just wanted to
feel like you were just like convincing me of this, and that I've seen to it, and then I'm gonna throw away the plan of like a major attack on like an enemy mech position.
So I think
in order to do this plan instead.
I think the way this happens is you all get a comms message, and including Yusef. And so we'll have a conversation where Anko basically draws you into a non-military tent. So like basically her civilian headquarters, or like, place where she has a desk that she can do work in.
Sure. It's probably one of the desks that's recovered from the wreckage of your mansion
Yeah. Or it's
It
in the hangar
smells kind of
itself.
charcoaly.
Yeah. Or it's in the hangar itself, where it's like just an office that was in the hangar that survives. And so yeah, you all get a message. I would like to talk.
All right.
Yusuf is there in his inverted House Haroka uniform.
Inverted? Wait, is that like signifying something?
It has the opposite color scheme. It's black and yellow rather than yellow and black.
Yellow and black. They started doing that when they left his service. I mean,
right.
yeah, Lachlan will be there.
Okay.
Of course, I'm there.
Welcome. Please have a seat. And Anko begins to pour everyone tea or a beverage. Would you like something?
This better be good, Anko. I have a lot of reports I need to get through.
Yes, well, we also have a lot of work to do, is to turn this war around. It has come across my desk that there is a shipment in transit. And I wish to propose something to the group. Particularly, and I look to Yusuf specifically, particularly make use of the new fine combatants that we have at our disposal. Thank you, Yusuf, for joining us.
All right. Without saying it, I'm looking at Yusuf like Yusuf went behind my back and spoke to Anko to set up this meeting. So I immediately become a little distant.
And I think like Anko, having spent some time now with Jasper, probably catches that eye contact.
Yeah.
And before anything is misconstrued, it is of my own volition that I have discovered this information. We have an issue to the north. They are lacking resources. We have gained mechs the last... How long has it been? Like a week? No, like days. From like since the last time that we've communicated, or since when we got Yusuf and the others, and we've like kind of consolidated resources to the south. Days? Okay. The last few days, we have gained much. We have the opportunity to gain more. And by doing so, limiting the supply chain of those that have conquered our central city. Squeezing them for resources. They may have more ammo and guns than us, but they still rely on our food supplies here. If we can squeeze that, morale will falter.
No. Now, Anko, I've already looked through this. This is not going to work. You know, it's too risky, but keep going. You know.
I understand it is risky, but we are in war. We have an obligation to our citizens to take those risks in an effort to free them of the potential bonds they are currently facing. Now, to the north, they are under constant siege. With reinforcements, we could turn that tide. On top of that, if we bring resources, such as food, medical supplies, whatever we can spare here, we can turn the tide. And then we have two prongs that we can take the city. Some level of incursion from two sides. The challenge with the north is that due to their constant siege, they are not able to help us to the south. So with great risk, we could potentially free them of that burden.
What do you say, Lachlan?
Lachlan's just sitting there, and then when you say that, he just goes, I have been very clear. I don't know anything about military strategy. I know how to pilot a mech, and I know how to run a house. You tell me, Jasper. You're the expert. You did this for years. What's the right plan? Do we go north now, or do we go take out this supply convoy?
But Lachlan, you do know people. Is that not right? Would it not encourage the people to be freed of a siege? Your family freed of that siege.
Wow, that's incredibly emotionally manipulative. Jasper, I want to interrupt here because you were asked a direct question, and I don't know that you came to the conclusion that this was not a good idea. I'd like you to make a tactics roll, actually, to maybe elucidate why it's not a good idea from your point of view.
Tactics roll.
What you got in terms of guys? You got edge, you got plot points. You tell me what you want.
Nah, dude, I'm riding the failure. Give me it. Give me the failure.
This sounds like a great idea.
Is there something that I overlooked and that's why I thought this was a bad idea, or vice versa?
No, I think you think it's just your instinctive dislike for Yusuf.
Sure.
You just don't like it because
I mean, on a double
ones. Yeah, you just blindly dislike it.
Okay, I'll let it blind me.
Whatever the perils that this plan might entail, that the major already rejected it, you don't care. It's just because it's Yusuf.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that, I don't want to.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So like, Anko, I can't. So like, no. Okay, then I'll force the issue. Where I go, I stand up to like Anko, and like I put like my finger to your chest and be like, I can't believe that you would go behind my back like this and set up this meeting. I thought this was supposed to be important, and here you are just preaching this mission. I looked over, it's too dangerous. And Eddie, of course, to you, like, it's not too dangerous. It makes perfect sense. I'm being unreasonable, right? So like, just so you know, like, yeah, right.
I get it.
Okay.
Jasper, you're being unreasonable. No, you're unreasonable.
Throws chair. Very reasonably throws chair
knocks the
across
whole
the room.
tent down on all of you.
Frankly, I'm of the opinion that if Jasper doesn't think that this is a good idea, then we should move north and break the siege first.
Okay. No, I want to do this. I want to do this mission. Okay. So
hold on.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Give me.
So you point your finger into my chest, and Anko responds, Jasper, I understand why it seems too risky. But if we do not take a risk, we will gain nothing in this war. We have already lost much. We have a lot to gain by taking some risk. And I look to Yusuf and I look back at Jasper and I say, I think you are seeing too close to the chest.
As you say that, the tent flap goes up. Oh, no, you're in the mech bay. All right. So, it's difficult to hear anything in here because the mechs are all being worked on.
Sure.
But the door is dynamically kicked in, and two men in, like, full combat gear, both holding combat riot shotguns, burst in, and a third guy comes in and is just like, Yusuf, you are under arrest. Come with me.
What is the meaning of this?
What?
Don't get involved, ma'am. This is a military matter.
Yes, well, this man is under my charge. I would like to know why he's being arrested.
He and his people have been stealing military operational documents. Yusuf of the Azami, you are under arrest for treason. And like somebody brings out some binders and he just stands up very formally and holds his hands out in front of him. He's doing everything but looking at Jasper as this happens.
Oh my god. Dude, are we doing, is season 2 part 2 fucking Jag season?
Lachlan.
No, I mean, this is an opportunity for Jasper to stand up because you denied this.
I don't. What? I didn't deny this.
Yeah.
Am I getting my wires crossed? I don't think I denied that he's committed treason or anything like that. Did I?
No. More like, well, actually, I don't really know, but what do you mean stolen documents?
Yeah, I mean, this guy is just like, it doesn't concern you, ma'am. This is
Hold on really quick. How can the military just come in and arrest civilians? That's not how that works.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the middle of a military encampment right now.
Or a war. I mean, like, I feel like then you're kind of allowed to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But,
Literally,
also, I know what you mean.
He stole might be. He acquired the plans for a unused and discarded military operation.
When the MPs say go with you, you got to go with them.
Yeah.
I thought it was Anko. I must have misremembered that.
He got them. He brought them to Jasper. Jasper then further rejected it, and Anko stole them from Jasper.
Yes.
Correct.
Got it.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, it's just been a minute where it's all catching up to us.
Yeah,
Well,
so
then
the officer in charge of the arrest is just like, where are the plans, Yusuf? Where are the plans?
We were just discussing them, actually.
All right, so yeah, this guy's just like, you have the plans?
You stole the plans for this? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was under the impression that this was
No.
something that was being brought to our attention.
Yeah, he holds his hand out for you to give him.
No, if there's any mistake, it's mine. And I'm going to step forward. I'm going to eat this charge, and I'm going to eat the pain for you, Anko.
Lachlan is just
So I'm
going to
step
say,
forward and say, like, Anko's trying to cover for me. Sorry, Lachlan, go ahead.
Lachlan, like, while you're trying to do this, he's just going to stand up and is just going to say, everyone stop. Jasper, explain to me what the hell is going on here.
No, the MP is the leader of the MP group is just like, sir, you're not in charge here. Shut the fuck up. Lieutenant Hiroka, did you just admit to being involved in this conspiracy?
I'm not sure of the conspiracy, but I did share confidential plans with Anko and Lachlan.
Hey, just Sergeant, arrest this man.
Yeah. All right. I'll be arrested.
Miss Khan, please turn over those plans.
Turn over, and I do like the head turn them over.
Uncle will turn them over. I do believe you're making a mistake.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything to you. So the three guards march the two men out. You guys are thrown in adjacent cells in like a plastic holding tent. You know, it's not like you couldn't escape from this, right? The prison is mostly the fact that if you like try to cut your way out of this tent or bring the edges of it up, someone's going to shoot you. Like, you'll just be dead, and that's all there is to it. No one has time in the middle of this understaffed war to hold you in place in like a proper facility. And yeah, and like they make it clear, they're just like, yeah, if you try to escape, we're just gonna like shoot you in the legs.
Won't be going anywhere.
Okay, good. Take a seat. The major will be back here shortly to convene a court.
Lachlan is going to see the major.
All right.
I'll back up Lachlan.
The two of you arrive at the major's command post, which is being a hastily erected like mobile command base type deal. So it's like several vehicles have all brought the different pieces to this thing. When I say mobile command base, I don't mean it can move. What I mean is that like you can pack it up in like APCs and stuff and then unpack it at a different location. So yeah, it looks as transitory as it should be, right? Like there's openly generators and like wires. It's somewhat open air. There's a level of military order to it, but there's not a lot of what you might consider like office order to it. There's a lot of people walking around and crossing paths, and the major just sees the two of you coming and moves to head you off and says, "In my office now, if you please, my lords."
Ah, excellent. At least one member of the army knows how to keep a civil tongue in their head when they address the nobility of this federation. Lachlan turns and walks directly into the office.
I think Anko just like politely bows their head, but has a very stern and frustrated look on their face.
Yeah, so she sits down in what is essentially her office, which is like a 10 by 10 room with a desk and several benches. And she gestures for you to sit down and places two hot cups of cheap styrofoam coffee in front of you and says, "It would behoove you, my lord, to remember that I am the commander-in-chief of the military forces on this planet."
It would behoove you, Commander-in-Chief.
She wouldn't say commander-in-chief. She would say commanding officer.
It would behoove you, Commanding Officer, to remember who runs the civilian forces on this planet. We can work together. I strive to work together. But when your people barge into my office, arrest folks under my command with no word, not only are we having problems with the system of justice that has been established in the Federated Suns, but the lack of decorum and respect is not one that's workable in the long term if you want to maintain a chain of command and if you want the nobility to respect the command you are trying to lord over me right now.
What does it say about the chain of command when one of my officers is involved in the theft of classified material? I didn't even send my men there to arrest him. I was just going for the petty criminal.
I frankly don't care what the accused crime is. If you are going to come arrest one of my people, I expect an explanation.
No, listen.
Respect.
No. She sets you off here, right here. She slams a hand on the table and says, "Baron, I've put up with quite enough from you. You had every right to make all of your points until you said your people. Lieutenant Hiroka is an officer under my command.
Yes.
He falls within my jurisdiction. You have every right to make every point you have made up until this point."
He was talking about Yusuf. Yusuf is a soldier.
Yeah. But he doesn't. She's not addressing that point. She's talking about Hiroka now.
We were discussing Yusuf. Hiroka involvement is still in question.
My people will get the answers we need to.
Either way, we are trying to be helpful with this war effort. And if military operations are not shared or communicated in a way that we can be helpful, then what is the purpose of our relationship? We have forces
Are you discussing
at your disposal.
The plan there was rejected because there was a higher than I was comfortable with likelihood that it was a trap.
That is fair.
I don't discuss my plans with, as you have mentioned, the civilian government when they have already been discarded for military reasons.
I want to be clear here. I really do not care about the individual charges you are levying. We have a system of laws. These are civilians. Jasper may have foregone whatever defense that he has by joining the military, but my people that I am using in service of this war have not. You're detaining them indefinitely for whatever reason is absurd. And frankly, the fact that your people charged in to my bay with guns pointed at me is tantamount to treason in and of itself as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure that I could get quite a few nobles in this federation to agree with me. Now, we can go at each other's heads. You can turn the military on Whittington against the nobility. I think that you will find, Major, that you will not last long in a commanding officer position if you do not have the support of the nobles.
Okay. I mean, she doesn't react in any way to this. Like, she's checked out of this. You're just, like, threatening her with nothingness at this point. Like, she's convinced that she's in the right in this situation. And she's not going to get into any sort of petty arguments with you.
I mean...
This isn't petty, but okay.
From her point of view, it is.
I mean, that's fine. Like, yeah, I mean... If that's all, if she just doesn't respond, Lachlan will just turn and leave.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate that we weren't able to have any sort of discourse.
I believe we had a very productive discourse.
I would disagree. You shut us down immediately.
This is a very straightforward case of breach of military protocol and theft, conspiracy, treason.
Oh, is it? Are you sure?
Several of the subjects involved have already directly confessed to their crimes. So yes.
In a time of war, we find ourselves limited with resources. I believe you will find that when we are trying to shift the balance of that war, people will try to do things. Yes, you may call it treason now, but they were only trying to help. Good day. And Anka will leave.
Okay. Listen, I love to get in a good argument, but I have to tell you, some of the military people who watch this show are like, that's not what a military person would do at all. And this whole time I was just thinking, like, yeah, if I say her, like, from her point of view, she's more or less in the right. And if I say her do anything at this point, I might lose that
edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's totally reasonable, but like from Lachlan's point of view, it doesn't matter when, if, how, or why.
Correct.
He's a noble, and nobody who's not a noble gets to tell him to shut the fuck up. And so now, because one of Major Garcia's people,
the arresting MP told you to shut up.
I'm not mad, but that's the kind of shit that, like,
Lachlan,
you need to respect nobility. That's an important thing. That's like foundational to Lachlan's like belief in the world.
I know.
And so
listen, I'm not bringing
Major
this down on
Garcia
anybody,
has positioned herself against that fundamentally, and so Lachlan's going to do everything in his power to make sure that her career gets ruined, because that's how he's a politician through and through, and like in the dirtiest and scummiest possible ways a lot of times.
And I think from Ako's position, she saw Garcia as someone that was going, I guess, a little bit too strict to protocol, and that may be just like Anko's perspective, but we're in the time of war where we have limited resources, and you're literally taking out two of our greatest resources because they took plans and were like, hey, I think we should do this. And I think that's where Anko's getting flustered. It's like, yes, it may have been a trap, but there are ways of springing the trap and turning it against them.
Yeah, the irony is that Lachlan just like largely thinks Garcia is like right to like take this action. It's just like the way she did it showed a disrespect for him that he can't tolerate.
Hiroka.
Yeah.
Several hours later, you find yourself in another tent. It's basically pitch black inside when you're dragged in, and then interview room. There's even flooring set down, a drain in the middle of the room underneath a table, and like metal chairs. You're cuffed to the table. The table is bolted down into the wooden floor as best possible. And a man enters and says, well, his name tag reads Chambers, and his rank bars read him as a lieutenant, and he says, Lieutenant Hiroka, good to see you.
Yeah, I can't do anything, so I just quietly raise my...
Takes his glasses off and puts them on the table and says, why don't you tell me about what happened?
It's not much else to talk about. I haven't told the last person.
Explain to me.
I'll indulge you. Yeah.
Yes.
So I go ahead and recite the thing about how Yusuf showed up, gave me the plans, and I said it was too risky, and that's pretty much where it went. So
you didn't return the plans to the military?
Not yet.
You presented them instead to Lady Anko Khan.
That's right.
I see. What was your intention in doing this?
It's my intention to train her up as a solid tactician in the event of my death.
You're aware that Lady Khan is under suspicion of several articles of treason.
Yes. I'm aware of the manufactured cloud that hangs above her.
Do you have any defense for your actions?
Defense? Of course. We're in the middle of a goddamn war, Lieutenant. If there's going to be some sort of mission that could help turn the tide, then we desperately need, or to absolutely do it. I don't care if it's Satan himself who gives us the information. If it's actionable,
when you say Satan
must use
himself,
everything.
He coughs slightly and begins cleaning his glasses.
No.
So you'd say that you're a patriot, Lieutenant. You did it out of love of the Federation.
Federation? I did it out of the love of Whittington, out of here. What are you talking about? In case you haven't noticed, we're under attack, and so you can chew me out for keeping a piece of classified intel on my desk. That's fine. You know, I kind of like look back rather confidently. Like the best they can do is just chew me out here, and really I'm protecting other people from whatever this dumb investigation is, and say no wonder we're losing if we're spending all this time investigating our nobles instead of actually trying to win.
We weren't investigating the nobles.
Yeah, you were investigating, sure.
What's your relationship to Yusef? No last name given.
Complicated.
Yes. Did you direct this person to acquire these plans?
All right. Okay, so I am not a good enough role player to do this, but this is what I'm trying to do, okay? I am trying to have got enough information out of this guy in order to like understand what they know, because I've also had to do like this investigation interrogation thing before. Like I'm trained in this, right? Sure. So the question that I need to know is, how do I protect Yusuf? And how do I get Yusuf out of this so afterwards I can like cover for him, and you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I want to do here. Right?
All right. I feel like this is I would take.
So I want to manufacture a story that makes him, you know, that portrays him in the best light possible, despite me not liking him and despite me not respecting him and stuff like that. I want to give him this. I want to give him this silent protector in the dark chance that lets him get out of this, and he'll never know that it was me.
Okay.
Can I
this is going to be a multi-part role. I
Sure.
think first is perception to get ahead of this guy and figure out what he knows and why he's asking you these questions.
I can't roll double ones twice in a row, right, guys?
Why would you say that?
An 8 with a perception.
I now
mod.
really hope that this happens.
I mean, because my dice don't care about me, no matter what I say.
I mean, it's pretty good.
I don't have perception. It's off int though, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So that's a total of a 10.
All right.
I need to beat a 12 though, right?
I'm gonna give you partial credit for this.
Okay.
You getting caught up in this isn't so good, right? But they're definitely not gunning for you overall, although it's unfortunate that you... I mean, what you did is a problem, but probably one that, you know, in the... Not running a real military here, because in a real military you'd be in a lot of fucking problem for discussing classified data with civilians. You know, they'll hand wave it because you're noble, right? They're not after you. They're after Yusuf for sure. They want to pin him with whatever they can for reasons that aren't really clear, because they literally went out of their way to recruit him.
So is this role determine why they want to pin Yusuf on this?
No, this role is telling you that all of his questions are so like you would have gotten that if you had succeeded. Yes,
I understand his tact. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You understand that he's not after you. He's after Yusuf.
Right. Okay.
These questions right now were just to determine that, you know, you actually are somewhat loyal still.
As a reminder, Eric, you do have edge and plot points if you want to reroll that too.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna reroll it too.
Okay.
No. Okay, nope. Got an 11.
God damn it.
Nope.
I feel like at the last minute there you like flicked it.
No,
anyway,
whatever.
The second role that I would like you to make would either be leadership or negotiation. to kind of lead this guy off and distract him, or otherwise protect Yusuf?
I like that you're using leadership, by the way.
Yeah, I'm using leadership here.
All right, so for leadership, it's going to be
appeal
13.
Okay.
Yep, you fucking...
Yeah,
I don't
no
know
problem.
what your score is, but you definitely nailed it with that roll.
I got a +6. So I think I did pretty solidly with a 17.
Yeah, buddy.
You know exactly... Not only do you know how to talk, you also know exactly how to lead this questioner on. You know, he's a Federated Sons intelligence officer. You walk him through everything he needs to hear to get him away from Yusuf.
Right.
I'd like to add in there that I feel like the time that you spent with Kuro is one of the reasons why you were able to distract this officer.
I think okay. I think what I'm trying to lead at is that the more important part is figuring out if this was a trap, like this, like not just how they got to Yusuf, but like their approach for how they're communicating to us, and that's more important.
This
and like maybe leading it that
not
way.
a trap for Yusuf.
Okay.
They literally had this plan, and somebody was just like, "No, this is way too dangerous. It's probably a trap. We need to throw this out."
Okay, got it. Okay, so it wasn't a trap seeded to us.
Says,
understood. Gotcha.
You know, Lieutenant Hiroka. I feel like we aren't getting Lieutenant Hiroka. We aren't getting anywhere with this.
No.
He slides you over a sheet of paper and says, when we brought him in, we ran some forensics on Mr. Yusuf. I think you might be surprised by the results.
Forensics. I think they're trying to get to me.
He slides you over a sheet of paper.
Sure. Slides it open. Dossier opens.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Okay.
I look down. My hands are tied, so like I imagine they open it for me, or maybe I have enough space to.
No. I think at this point, he just comes and uncuffs you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, they put it over. It says the big old red classified on the fucking manila folder, right? And flips open. There's a bunch of paper clips with shit in it, and and he points out. What does he point out to me?
He doesn't point out anything to you, but as you're working your way down, you know, it talks about his criminal history as a member of the somewhat, like, they don't have any specific crimes that they can pin on him, but the military intelligence has been keeping track of the movements of known terrorists. What is this guy's name? It's been so long since we played, and I don't have my NPC thing open. The head of the Arkady. Yes, because they considered him to be Arkady's right-hand man, and now that Arkady's escaped and he injured a noble and a military officer on his way out of prison, they consider him to be a threat. They ran a quick DNA test and compared it to their records and found a match to you.
What?
According to this, you share a parent.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yusuf and I do?
Yes.
Awesome.
Obviously I don't believe it, right?
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah, when he sees your face, he says, "We had no idea. Your father operated in mysterious ways."
This is the best you got.
He's leaning back. He's butt on the table, back to you, looking at you over his shoulder. It's all very casual. Yeah. So you didn't know either, huh?
What do you think?
I don't know, Lieutenant. I don't know what to think anymore. As you said, we're in the middle of a goddamn war.
Yeah. I didn't know that we are going through folks' ancestries here instead of analyzing the latest scouting reports, but okay.
I mean, it includes all the others, like fingerprint analysis, you know. Like,
is it irrefutable? Like, is that what you're trying to say to me? They
did it in a military camp in like 3 hours. It's not irrefutable, but they wouldn't be like, "Hey, we think this guy's your half brother," just for a laugh.
Not for a laugh, but to get to me for some reason.
Maybe.
But, okay.
I'm not telling you it's not impossible.
All right. Well, I don't believe it, so.
Okay.
Oh. Am I free to go yet?
There have been a lot of terms for officers like you throughout the years, Lieutenant. Firebrands, willing to risk it all. Defy orders, bend them as best they can, get involved in military operations with the intentions of becoming a hero. Well,
you know what they say, Lieutenant? No guts, no galaxy.
What is this, Wolfnet podcast? Renegade HPG? Death from Above? We want to just go ahead and list all of the other Battletech podcasts real quick here. You know, while this show
famous line, yeah.
While this show was happening, somebody messaged me and was like, "You messaged Wolfnet one time," and so now I'm watching it. And since you brought it up here, now I'm like, it's everywhere now. Everywhere I say. He says, "Well, you're in luck. I wouldn't exactly call it punishment. What you've done here." The Major's waiving it for now, but I'm sure that once this conflict is over, you'll be facing some sort of punishment. But she's got a detail for a young buck like yourself looking to get kills and glory. So you're free to go for now, Lieutenant. Just know, intelligence is keeping an eye on you. You can't evade the foxes forever.
Yeah. All right, cool. I stand up. I give him a salute or whatever, and then head out.
He doesn't salute you back because you're the same rank.
Okay. That's why I said or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever was the appropriate accoutrement.
Probably like a casual salute. It's like...
All right.
I think all the military must be like really mad at me for doing that. But anyway. No casual salutes here. What is that?
Yeah.
Should I let him out of jail?
Yeah.
And Yusuf is still in jail.
No, they let Yusuf go too.
Oh.
Nice.
He's on parole.
So Yusuf's part of my family, eh?
So listen, every time you were like, well, Yusuf isn't a noble, I was dying. I was like, man, from the first time we met this guy, I always knew he was the dark secret of your father.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
He's always I've been trying to foreshadow it for so long.
Yeah, I kind of saw it. That's
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I was like, wait, you don't want to forgive him?
No.
Anyway, forgive family. No, yeah. So I think Anko is actually waiting outside the prison cell when you walk out. So they let you go.
Yep. Can't keep this bird in its cage.
Let's have a drink.
As the two of you are leaving, you can hear somebody just like, Yusuf, you're on parole. We need pilots more than we need prisoners. Snow, the foxes are keeping an eye on you.
Oh my
Different
god.
guy, same phrase.
Yeah. I don't look at Yusuf, but I imagine Yusuf looks at me as I turn away with Anko.
Yusuf doesn't know anything about what happened.
Good. Okay. That's how I want it.
All right.
I think there's a glance back to Yusuf from Anko. Just like a knowing glance. Something.
Look, knowing what?
I think it's less of like a
Jasper hasn't told you this yet, has he?
No. Nothing about the half brother thing. Yeah. Maybe after a couple of days. No. No, it's more of like a knowing that this was the outcome that we needed, and that we'll leave it at that.
I only want this revealed upon Jasper's death. All right, that I've been quietly keeping Yusuf out of trouble and giving him money and taking care of him,
that's pretty
like,
good.
indirectly for like 30 years. that's all I want to do.
That's assuming you survive that long, but yeah,
sure.
Okay.
At some point, Lachlan is gonna like message y'all once he knows you're out of jail, and just be like, "Does anyone want to explain why the fuck he decided to steal military intel?"
Hobbians are fucking crazy, man. That's all I said. That's me to drink.
Yeah, Lachlan's just like in his office, like doing, like rubbing his temples, just like, these motherfuckers.
I believe they were trying to get in our good graces.
Indeed. Well, to their credit, they seem like they're some of the only people here who give a shit and want to win.
Well, cheers to that. Yeah. I still don't think that what we discussed was a bad idea. Perhaps the convoy is not, but going north and helping that encampment does seem, while risky, like a smart move.
It's a trap for sure.
The convoy? I don't doubt it. Dargahada's combine is sly, to say the least.
What do you think, Jasper? What about just heading directly north, trying to break the siege?
That's more my style. I'm always, when it comes to tactics, my brother always used to say my default plan is my plan A is hey diddle diddle right up the middle.
Well, you draw up the plans for the military engagement. I'll make sure we source all of the material we need, supplies. I'll get things worked out with Garcia to make sure that we can do this without being arrested afterwards.
Yeah.
I will see if I can get some information about what they need and some intelligence around the siege that is currently in place.
So, out of character real quick, I think the thing about Jasper is that Jasper is good at straight up fights. Like, I'm good at duels. Like, I'm good at like leveraging what we have for like, you know, direct things. But like, if we want to do sort of like these covert ops, special forces missions, things like that, like I have no training in those things, and I'm always going to underestimate those. And that's where you all come in and like really push me and do stuff, right?
Lachlan is just convinced that you're his general. So he's just until he's disabused of that notion, he's just going to assume like if there's a military question, I'm just going to ask Jasper because he was in the army that before, so he knows. I don't know.
And I kind of see Anko as the spy slash because that's literally what her family did. So yes, she has tactics, but it's more of the commando style tactics that you're not as familiar with there, perhaps. And that's just like from the innate family training.
Several hours after this meeting, Lachlan, there is a knock on the outside of your office.
I will
cautiously accept.
I think Lachlan would probably just say come in. He probably wouldn't get up and go to open the door.
So Yusuf comes in, and he stands at something close to parade rest and says, Baron McDougal, I apologize. I have dishonored you with my actions. You have suffered.
Sit down, if you don't mind.
He does sit down.
He'll say, what was the plan? You were just going to... I'm honestly unclear on what you all were thinking, so why don't you try to explain it to me a little bit further?
My people and I, throughout the camp, were hearing news, and I knew that if I could get these plans to Jasper, he would be capable of executing them. our former lord is a vanguard charging ahead, this operation would be excellent for him and would enhance his glory.
Interesting. After
this kind of thing is, I weighed the chances and I found that it was more probable that Baron Hiroka would be able to ask forgiveness rather than permission.
After everything over the last few weeks and months, it's laudable that you are still so loyal to the House of Hiroka. It's a kind of loyalty that I value greatly.
I should be loyal to my employer, who at this time are yourself and the Baron's Khan, and my failure to account for that has led to this issue. As a armsman and as a mercenary, I apologize. Among my people, there is a method of atonement that I might use if you wish or require it.
What sort of atonement are you talking about?
So he pulls off his left glove and puts his hands on the table, and then takes a like a Tonto knife off of his belt that he wears next to his scimitar.
Yeah. Lachlan is just like, oh, Jesus Christ. No, what are we, some fucking back alley casino on Solaris trying to send a message? No, I don't want you to. No, don't do that.
All right. He carefully picks the knife back up and sheathes it in his belt, starts putting the glove back on, and says, among my people, it is traditional.
Fair enough. I have no problem with people sticking to their traditions. I just prefer if you don't to cut off any of your fingers in front of me. Anyway, the point I was getting at is I find the loyalty laudable, even if I would hope that one day I might earn it for myself and my own house in turn. In the future, I expect that you won't let your loyalty to House Hiroka cause me problems. But Yusuf, we have to be clear on something. I'm a lenient man in the best of times. I try to work with people, even those who I don't get along with at first. But in times of war like these, I can only give people so many chances. See that I don't need to give you another chance.
Very well.
At your leave, unless you have something else to talk to me about.
There are rumors in this camp of another military operation beginning soon, that you and the rest of the nobles will be asked to be at the forefront. I expect that it will be extremely dangerous. They are using you as shock troopers to make the way for the rest of the military.
Interesting.
Is my read on things.
It's very good to know. I appreciate that. It makes sense. It seems like the type of nonsense that Garcia would get herself involved in. If you hear anything else like this, let me know. I'm going to be working on securing supplies for our own expedition sooner rather than later. But if we can avoid being used as fodder, it's a significant improvement.
He turns and leaves.
Okay. Well, I think I probably have to tell the other two about this because our plan currently plays right into that, into Garcia's hands, and using us as the main force. So, yeah.
What I love is that if the show was from Garcia's point of view, her actions would see, like, you guys seem like you're crazy. You're literally just like All right, we're gonna protect Anko Khan, who everyone is saying is like a terrorist and committing crimes, and like, okay, yeah, we're gonna work with her, we're gonna free her, and then like every time Major Garcia turns around, your group is doing something crazy.
Because we got the balls, the cojones.
You know what? If this is a TV show, it'd have to be like The Wire, where it shows both sides of the story at the same time, and so you're like, both sides of the protagonist. Who are the real villains here? I don't even know anymore.
War is the real villain.
War is the real villain. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Wow, that's so trite.
I guess Lachlan would try to go find Jasper and Anko and just be like, I got some interesting news. Our plan may be... Well, it may be setting ourselves up to take the brunt of the damage in Garcia's goals. Not sure we should just play entirely into our hand here.
What do you mean?
Apparently, the military is planning to use us as the vanguard anyway. They want us to...
To the north?
I'm not sure to where, but that's where the armies are, so it's either got to be the north or the capital.
Well, I can certainly see what I can find from the north encampment, see if they have planned, if they have some sort of communication with Garcia.
Is this a problem for you, Lachlan?
I just want to make sure we're all clear on what we're going into. We're taking the vanguard and we're working with Garcia. If you think that's our best role in this, I'll believe you. But I like to make sure we're making decisions with all of the information.
Yeah, I don't disagree there.
Well,
I have concerns if we are going straight to the capital without the northern establishment.
Why don't I go talk to Garcia, try to smooth things over after our last interaction, and see if she's willing to talk to me if I extend a willingness to work with her.
As you say, noble commander. And I think Anko will give a courteous bow. I believe that is the right course of action. It is good for us to get on the same page at the very least.
What are you giggling at over there, AP?
I know.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, then unless somebody else has a better idea of something to do first, I guess I'm just going to have to go talk to Garcia again.
I was going to communicate with my agents, except that I need to get the communicator. So I'll communicate with Lady Menkenchuk. My gosh. Menchikov, thank you. And have them.
Are those the only, like, intelligence folks you have left?
No,
you basically just keep calling Cypher over and over again. But there's a wider network spread across the capital city and the planet. The problem is you're not really sure which one of them are loyal and which one are actually just DEST plants from the internal security force of the
I feel like I did suss out at least a few of them, right?
Yeah.
That I'm concerned, that I'm fairly certain they're loyal.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there will be like some sort of activation where I will communicate to them to get my own intelligence for the capital, as well as for if there's any others besides Cypher, since Cypher doesn't have their communicator at the moment.
I mean, what are you asking them to do? Just asking somebody to get you intelligence. I mean, they might be able to read you a newspaper.
No, okay, so I guess activation.
Give me specifics. What are you looking for?
Right. So let's see, and feel free if either of you have ideas of like intelligence that you would like to know for tactical reasons for the city center, or the city rather, or for the siege. So I think for the siege, specifically for the Menshikov estate, the two primary things that I would like to know are the known existing forces that are sieging the estate, and the state of the forces of the estate itself. And also, like, I guess the third question would be something around the common tactics that have been used in the siege.
All right, that's a lot. Narrow it down to one thing.
Oh, well, the two things are basically like the current state of the siege, right?
Of the Menshikov estate?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like you to make a roll.
Okay.
I will take leadership.
Mm-hmm. Or what else?
Is there anything you would suggest other than leadership?
No, I can see leadership being the primary one. Just out of curiosity, what was it again to boost your leadership? Or rather, it's like 1.5 times.
It depends on what your skill level is.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's 1.5 times. Yeah, but it's times the original skill that you're going to.
Yes.
right. So I'm going from 2 to 3.
5, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you round up.
Start after like 4 or 5, it starts to be more expensive.
Right. So 1.5 would be 2, 3, right? So it'd be 3.
Yeah, to go to 3, I think that sounds
Yeah.
right.
Okay. Then, oops, no, that's gonna be a 3, and I spend 3 points. So I have a leadership of 6. So we'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
All right. Where's my dice? There's my dice. Okay, 8 plus 6.
14.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as the state of the siege goes, they are establishing the classic Caesar double wall because the estate is up against a cliff line and there's no real clear way for them to leave. Like, they don't have a ton of aircraft or airmobile forces, and they don't have a way to easily get down the cliff to like boats. They are establishing like a small is it called dragooning? Well, they basically stole a bunch of boats from the civilian populace and threw guns on them, like machine guns, not like lasers or anything, just to make sure that like no one tries to scale down the cliff, and then have surrounded the area with like tank berms so that the tanks can just watch what's coming in and out and just starve the forces inside. So the area has, you know, they used to do patrols outside. We saw like Champ doing that alongside Michelle, but those have been forced back to inside the Menshikov estate's walls. Given its remote location, you know, and like not a huge amount of farming or food, they expect that they're going to run out of food pretty quickly here, and supplies, ammunition, energy.
Okay. So nothing about the actual equipment.
The equipment being used is tanks.
Against them.
Yes. So a mercenary unit has been stationed by the name of man, I'm forgetting this guy's name. Barrett's Privateers.
Oh god, those guys.
Really? Again?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So
Right.
some like larger, less mobile tanks have been stationed there on the cheap to just make sure there are no breakout attempts while the mech forces fight elsewhere. So basically, like, the mech forces on the planet aren't needed to keep everybody pinned into the estate, and rather than, you know, do a costly and potentially extremely dangerous to civilian life and you know, the estate mech assault, they could just wait for everybody to surrender and then take all of their stuff, right? It's a very cost-effective strategy of basically sending the mechs elsewhere to fight other battles and leaving behind tanks and some infantry
It's an attrition tactic, right? Where you're essentially wearing down your enemy.
I guess. I mean, it's literally
Yeah, I mean,
the definition of a cost-effective siege.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but I guess attrition. No, not attrition. But yeah. The whole idea is essentially you're just wearing down your enemy until they surrender.
So the other thing that you learn, because you succeeded with an extra bit, is that the reinforcements that would normally reinforce the siege were directed elsewhere in a police action to the Hiroka estates.
Oh. Okay.
They have not yet visibly returned, and the artillery that was used to previously keep this area suppressed has left because there were concerns. Like your agents have picked up, like they've gone ahead and become like
and stuff.
No, not comm chatter. Like they've become like cooks and stuff, civilian cooks for like the invaders, and they picked up like artillery officers. Just like I'm just so glad that they decided, like command decided to pull back the artillery. It would have been, it's Kentari's all over again if we start shelling that estate. There's kids everywhere out there.
Oh,
They'll
boy.
surrender sooner rather than later. It's just a matter of days. We'll get them. We'll get those mechs too.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think
still think Anko, if she has the manpower, should try to send people to break into the Bassett estate and find dirt on him.
Yeah, I'm totally down for it. I feel like that could be like a one-off mission that we do as like characters. It'd be kind of fun.
I mean, you just committed your agents to this intelligence effort.
I know.
That's what they're doing instead of breaking into the Bassett estate.
I was just messing.
Okay, so
yeah.
What's next?
Well, I think
you doing
you were
anything?
Gonna go talk to Garcia.
Okay.
And we can go ahead and have that scene, and I'll think about what I'm going to do with that information.
Yeah, Lachlan will go talk to Garcia. I mean, if Jasper wants to come with, he's more than welcome to.
I was gonna ask if you wanted backup or not. Yep. I'll go with you then.
Lachlan he's not just gonna show up, right? Like if she has like an assistant and he can like set a meeting, he would do it like the like polite and appropriate way.
Sure. She pens you in for as soon as possible to come to the command center.
Yeah, he'll show up, and when he arrives, if she's like in the middle of doing anything, he'll wait. But if she's not, he'll say
No, she starts off not looking up. She says, sit down, Lieutenant. Because Jasper's there. And then she says, Baron, can I get you anything to drink?
Fine, thanks. I appreciate the offer.
Please, feel free to sit down.
Yeah, Lachlan will also sit.
What can I do for you, Baron?
Well, after our last fractious encounter, I wanted to come see if we can't, if not make amends, that at least find an accord when it comes to working together to get these Draconis Combine fuckers off of our planet.
That's good, because we're down to the wire here. And we are currently developing a strategy in order to disrupt the enemy's central focus.
Interesting. My own team has been thinking about plans on freeing up the northern siege.
That's good, because that's exactly where I'm sending Lieutenant Hiroka. And Lieutenant Hiroka. And I assume that he would ask you to come along.
Well, then it all seems to be working out. What can we expect the plan to be after we break the siege?
Let's worry about what the plan is to break the siege before we worry about what happens afterwards.
Of course.
You are the only people on this planet with what one might call siege-breaking equipment at this purpose. A nearly full lance of assault mechs or heavy mechs.
It's a lot of firepower. What's your plan?
I can find firepower anywhere. What I need is armor.
Of course, of course. Sounds like you want us to play it simple.
I need you to walk whatever forces you can muster, Lieutenant Hiroka, through the city. I'm giving you authorization to use military transit highways within the city to arrive at your destination. Since with your Atlas, it will be extremely difficult to move on anything but the hardest, most weight-capable surfaces. To make your way to a position that we believe is guarded by a series of tanks and disrupt their formation, allowing a breakout of the Menshikov estate. We don't have a lot of intel, but we also don't have a lot of options. We have yet to receive any word from Comstar, who are upholding the official line that the current planetary ruler is, in fact, a member of the Draconis Combine. They are denying us access to the HPG as a result.
I'll see what I can do about getting you a little bit more intel about what we'll be dealing with at the estate. I can't make any promises, but we may be able to help a bit there.
Intel should be passed along to Lieutenant Hiroka. I'll be leaving him in command for the this particular mission. I will be mustering the remainder of Southern Army Command to follow in behind your wake, and we will be uprooting all operations to reconvene with North Army Command, at which point the combined commands will become one army. We will take the next steps from there.
Appreciate your support, Major.
She just kind of presses her lips together and says nothing.
That just leaves me with one question. Actually, hold on. Actually, this might not even be possible. I have 2 mechs that we don't have pilots for.
You just picked up some pilots last time I checked.
Oh, right. So the Aki Herzog can pilot our extra mechs. Okay, so never mind. Then
I've got
then you
mechs
won't
too
ask
that would need to be piloted. So, yeah, I think we're okay
You
though.
also, I mean, you guys each took a company of Aki Herzog, so
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
Okay.
I've got 2 mechs that would need piloting, and I think you as well. So I think we're okay though.
sorry, they're called the Azami now, not the Aki Herzog,
yes,
are the criminal bad ones.
Yeah, I think we did this math a while ago. But yeah, we have enough pilots for our mechs.
Yeah.
And our
Yeah.
tanks even.
Then Lachlan will say, well, sounds like a plan. We'll be your vanguard. We'll blow up some tanks for you. And hopefully we can get things taken care of from there.
Baron McDougal, I expect that this will kick off a final battle, this planet. You should know that we are outnumbered and outgunned, but we are not outsupplied. And we are fighting in what we might call an interior line of defense. I wish we had time to wait for help, but unfortunately public support is turning against us. There has been a consistent conspiracy and propaganda effort to undermine the security of the Federated Sun's presence on this world, and I cannot allow it to fall, which is why we are willing to take these risks, and we have been pre-authorized to do so.
I understand. Know this, Major. If you can get me on the line with the ability to talk to the people, and I know it's a big ask, but if you give me a platform, I can make sure that we can turn the tide of public sentiment back around. Without access to the airwaves, I can't do much.
You're willing to assure me that you can change hearts and minds?
If I can't change the hearts and minds of people of Whittington, Major, what use am I in this war effort at all?
Why don't you make a fucking roll to change her hearts and minds?
I will. I will, AP.
Oh my gosh. The tension in this room.
What is this?
Negotiation.
All right. Well, I'm pretty good at that.
You need to be
Basically, AP, I want her to set me up so that I can make my grand wartime speech
Yes,
to the
I
people
know,
of
I know.
Whittington.
You're doing a Churchill, huh?
Exactly. I need to Churchill them.
you need a 16.
Oh man, that's gonna be tough.
Less than that, she might still let you do it, but she's not convinced that you're anywhere near competent enough to pull it off.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Well, a 16, I have a +5 in negotiations, so this does not
Boost it
bode
up,
great
man.
for me. Yeah, see, I was gonna
XP?
save up XP to get up
Sorry,
to
you have
being...
a 5 negotiation or a 5
Yeah,
with
negotiation.
What about your attribute?
Oh no, I have 1 negotiation 4 stat.
And you're not really that good at negotiation, are you?
I'm just very charismatic, AP.
Yeah, dude, I mean,
I
you
was saving up to see if I could get 15 XP to get myself to be a better pilot, but I think I'm gonna have to just
boost it up to 3, man. You're like chief charisma guy, so I would boost your negotiation as much as you can.
Yeah, all right. Well, all right. So to boost it to 2 would be
2.
well, I
Well,
think
you have
2,
to do it piece by piece. So
that's what I'm saying. I think 2 is not enough. Hold on, sorry. I know this is not the most fun to watch. Okay, to go up to 2 would be new rank times 1.5 rounded up. So that would be 2, and then it would cost another 3 to go up to 3.
Yeah.
So it'd be 5
5
total to go up to 3. Yeah, I have 11. That's yeah. All right.
You're good.
So I will go down to 6 because I'm going to spend 5.
Good luck.
It's a solid 7 in your negotiation
My
skills.
negotiation to 3, which makes my total 7. Yeah. All right. 2d6 plus 7. Don't fail me now.
Reroll that
That's
2,
a
buddy.
5 and a 2. I will reroll the 2 with the edge that I have. I've got 2
Fuck,
edge.
Edge legit. Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
buddy.
I thought edge did let you reroll.
well, who knows anymore? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It's been so long since I played straight up Destiny. It
That's
doesn't
an
matter.
18
You have
total.
both resources at your command, so yeah. 11
18
plus.
total.
Okay, so you don't just convince her, you actually get a little bit extra. She says, Baron, you've elucidated to me that you believe that the nobility is at the heart of this war effort, and I agree with you. However, the military has to be able to do what the military has to be able to do. I will make it my top priority after South Army Command links with North Army Command to run a psychological warfare operation that will get you behind a microphone and a camera. Because we will require partisanal help in order to take on the remaining enemy forces.
Couldn't possibly ask for more, Major. I appreciate that sentiment.
Have you heard from... Hold on for a second. I gotta open the character list. Baron Lafayette.
We haven't since she got shot down, right?
Correct. You've heard a little bit of her exploits. She got shot down. She basically commandeered a dropship, and from there she's kind of been going around trying to unify the aerospace forces on the planet, which has not been working. But it's been weeks since you've heard from her.
Yeah, so Lachlan will basically say, it's probably a little pensive at first, and then he'll say, unfortunately, we haven't heard anything about her in weeks. Last I heard, she was doing her best to contest the airspace, but things weren't going great. I know just about nothing more than that, I'm afraid.
You want to prove to me that you nobles can contribute to this war effort and are at the center stage of it. Get me in contact with her. We need air superiority for these operations. We need to finally break the air stalemate because our militia fighter craft have not been able to reconvene with us. Both sides have been wearing down their aircrafts, their pilots, and their supplies. And at this point, we're basically throwing bricks at each other. a single decisive action that gives us the advantage to turn this war around.
Noted. We'll do our best to get in contact with her. Anything else I can help you with, Major?
No, thank you, Baron. Lieutenant Hiroka, you're dismissed.
Major?
Cool. The only other thing that I was hoping to do at some point, and we can do this whenever, because it may just be as simple as a roll, is is there any way that Lachlan can kind of like use his ability to kind of do logistical work and manage supply lines to kind of like get the most out of that advantage in some way or another? Like, because I know we have a supply advantage over them. I'm wondering if there's like some kind of role I can make to make sure that that's being taken advantage of in the best way we can.
Interesting. I will allow you to do that, but that will be what you're doing instead of preparing for your upcoming military operation. Like, you won't be able to do something else during that time.
What do you guys think? I can't think of anything else that Lachlan would even do to get ready for this.
So for the military operation, I think
hold on, sorry, but don't mean to interrupt, but would I have to spend, is it even an option, would I have to spend the time to make sure that I don't get the piloting penalties on the imp in this next battle?
Yeah, so it's not immediate. I feel like it will have gone away by then.
But that's not like, yes. It's not like an either or. It's not like
it's not an either or.
Okay. Then go ahead, Eddie. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. That's a very good question. Yeah, so I think for the military operation, like prep, what are some things that we as a group would need to do? So just to kind of weigh the options of what Lachlan can do. What
at this point, you don't have to do anything. You just have to show up with a bunch of mechs. The question is there anything extra you want to do?
Sure. Okay.
I guess things we could do is like try to figure out where Lafayette is.
Right. So that's kind of one of the things that I think Anko would want to do, is because they still have a Stuka like in the hangar that we've now set up that Anko purchased.
Still no working runway, but got a Stuka.
Oh, I thought the runway was being worked on though.
It is being worked on, still not actually working.
I got it.
And again, even if the runway is working, no working air control tower, it'd be basically taking off blind. Which, it's a Stuka.
Doable.
It's doable. It's not safe, but it's doable.
I mean, shit, man. Like, it's like we're in wartime.
Landing's going to be a bit of an issue because
I would think that the landing would be tougher than the takeoff with no tower.
No, I assure you that the landing is the easiest part of an aircraft. You definitely will land at some point, Sam.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Everything's airdroppable once.
Wow.
That's fair.
Oh my god. Hey,
you got us there. You got us good.
If you mean a controlled landing, then yes, not having air control tower will be an issue.
I mean, I've seen enough movies where military movies.
Are you a bush pilot?
No, I mean also, hey. To be fair,
Stuka is not a bush plane.
Look, two of my uncles and one of my cousins are pilots, so I've also had those conversations. Anyway, that's here nor there. I'm not trying to like qualify myself as a pilot, but my point is that it's definitely possible to land a plane.
It's not that it's not possible. It's just going to be harder.
Just imagine a B-2 stealth bomber landing on like a little fisherman's island in Alaska.
I mean, that's actually what my uncle flew. So yeah. But or not, you said stealth bomber? No, he didn't.
Yeah, B2.
Yeah, never mind. Not the stealth one. But anyway, so I think Anko would definitely be working on helping out in that and Lafayette, like as much as they can, whether or not it's choosing one or the other. Like that's kind of how I think we would divvy it up in preparation, is getting us set up for any kind of aerial. So helping out with the
okay, so it sounds like you're making a choice. Either you are putting your whole effort into seeing that the runway is done and the Stuka can take off and safely operate, or you're spending time trying to find Lafayette and get in contact with her.
Well, so
can't do both at once. You get to pick one.
Yeah. So I guess what I was trying to put out there were different things that each of us could do, or if it's something that we have to devote all of us to versus. That's kind of what I was trying to figure out was whether or not it's something that
Sam has already committed himself to the effort to gain logistical superiority. So this is so
that'll be my thing.
Okay. So logistical superiority, whatever. And then what is Jasper going to be doing? Because I think it makes sense that Anko would work on the Lafayette thing. But that's there.
I mean, ideally I would probably just be focusing on like the main mission here, and
yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, I know it's not like as glamorous as what all y'all are doing, but I'm totally fine taking a backseat for a second and like.
Is there a rule to be made there?
Depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
They don't have the intel that Anko has, because Anko's never presented to them. So the military mission is literally just like a bunch of lines on a piece of paper saying, we expect that you should go here and go here. You will encounter forces. We believe that there are tanks located in the area. Engage them, destroy, and signal back to following Southern Command.
So I couldn't theoretically convince them to use Anko's information because I don't even know about it.
You don't know about Anko's information either. Yeah. I mean, you could be trying to gather information yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'd probably be doing.
So
collating scouting reports.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense that was the prep you would be doing. So I think part of that would probably have a conversation with Anko, just see if I know things, because that's often what Anko does. So narratively makes a lot of sense. Do you want to have a scene for it, or do you want to just no?
He doesn't know that you know.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you were talking about collating scouting reports and doing prep for the main mission.
I don't know. Maybe there's a point where we're drinking and I just bring up how like this is what I've been doing, and maybe you recognize that maybe you'd be able to help me.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So it seems that our mission's aligned. Then I went ahead and asked around with my network, and it would seem that there is a diverting of forces from the siege to other locations. And I lay out basically kind of a rough sketch of what Anko was able to find out of the siege itself, and the resources that they're missing, and the resources that were being both diverted and engaged with the siege. So giving you kind of a rough idea of that.
This is remarkable, Anko. You know, I'm like looking over the reports, right?
It is surprising what people talk over dinner. Alluding to like
no, wow,
like people
this
being
is
chefs.
Yeah, and like I'm gonna start drawing connections between like how this is useful and stuff like that, and I'm gonna bring it up to into my reports. Thank you. You know, I'm just like holding this stuff. I'm like, thanks, Anko. This is great
like
stuff.
I said, it is fortuitous that I went ahead with our initial intention, and the military is already plotting it themselves.
Okay, out of character there, real quick. I don't know if I can say that you're doing this because I think the military would be like, well, we can't trust Anko's intelligence or something.
Yeah,
I'm afraid of
yes.
that.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right.
So you can just say like you're collating scouting reports, and some scouts were able to discover this. You can
so I won't bring it up unless I have to about where I'm getting this extra information, why I'm doing it the way I'm doing. But I'm absolutely going to use your information. I trust your information
intel because you're given command of this operation because you're
that's what I mean. So like I love it.
I will allow you to make any of the following rolls: perception, tracking, leadership, and tactics in order to collate your reports. to get a advantage going into the battle.
Okay. I think I'm gonna rely on my old leadership to do that.
Okay.
Although tactics makes more sense. Let's go tactics, because that actually is what I'm doing.
Is there a difference between what he would get for?
Yes.
Okay, and the DC as well.
The DC isn't changed, but what you get out of it will change.
Yeah.
DC is 14.
So like doing it tactics, like what does that look like? Like this is like drawing up battle plans, I guess. That's tactics.
Well,
right?
I mean, instead
Is
of
leadership
just
like a
three arrows saying this is the path you have to follow through the city because it's the only one rated to walk an atlas on, right? Like, and then, all right, so we think the tanks are here. Now it's like, all right, we know the tanks are here, 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 and here, and we know that they're this size. We believe there's a vulnerability in their overlapping field of fire at this location.
Okay.
So you need to approach from this angle and go in.
All right, so tactics. Yep, 14. Let's see what I get.
Ooh.
Not quite. 7 plus 5 is 12. I'm just gonna reroll the whole thing.
My God. Insane.
Bold.
Because I would need a.
You need to turn that 3 into a 5 or a 6. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna reroll the whole thing. I don't know what I'm doing.
This is the dark science of a burning wheel player.
You got
right
the
here.
edge. You got the edge to spend. Why not?
Jesus Christ.
I rolled even worse. All right.
Oh
I failed.
God.
You just got Charlie in the chocolate factory. And instead of getting something, you get nothing now. Yeah, you're trying to put together some tactics. Some guy keeps walking up to you and it's like, you know what you should do, sir? You should replace all of your lasers with small lasers. It's the most heat efficient weapon in the whole bit. You're just like, stop talking to me. I'm trying.
Get out of here, Sergeant YouTube comment. Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Oh well. Sometimes it'd be like that.
You just spend the whole time. And I think that your tactics roll is literally just like people are flooding you with their opinions, right? Like several corporals come up and say, you know, sir, I was looking at this and
That's better. Yeah. Okay. That's all right. It's better than what I thought of. So I'm cool. I'm fine with that.
Let's make your logistics roll.
Oh yeah. What am I rolling for that? Leadership.
I would accept leadership, as that covers administration, motivation.
Alrighty.
I would also accept technician to some extent.
I only have tech mech.
You're talking about mech tech. No, I'm talking about the actual skilled technician.
Oh, technician is a skill. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I don't have that. I will use leadership then.
Very well.
I have a +6 in this.
So, explain to me what it is, just beyond like leveraging having better supplies. What is the end focus of this? Do you want to make sure that everybody's got a lot of what to do, what or where? It's okay to make it general and broad and just say we should just have more supplies.
Yeah, I mean, unless somebody else has an idea, that's kind of all I was really going for.
Okay.
Just like we had an existing supply advantage, and Lachlan is making sure stuff gets to the right places at the right time.
Sure. I'm gonna. Oops. I think I just unplugged my headset. I think I can hear you now. Yes, I can now. All right. No, just give me a second. The stream can't hear you. What? I can hear you, but the recording is no longer picking you guys up on desktop audio. I don't know what happened. Yeah. I'd say we need to stop here, take like a 30-second break for me to cycle OBS, and then I'll tape the two ends of the video together. Okay.
Along.
All right, we're back for this part. It was less than 30 seconds. Okay,
Perfect.
so
So
I'm gonna do the opposite. You won't have more supplies based on this roll. On your gradient, if you make it, you will end up having as many supplies and equal your opponent. Your stage-wise successes will mean that your opponent will have less ammunition starting off in a battle and less repairs.
That's pretty
So
good.
it represents the tear down from them not having as much as you.
That's good.
I like that. I like that.
Thanks, because I've been trying to think for like the past 20 minutes as to how to represent Lachlan having a logistical advantage.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
And I think one of the ways that we can leverage the information that you can leverage the information is that you have a readout from Anko of the supplies at the camp and of like the actual equipment that are currently deployed. So kind of similar to what Eric was using or Jasper was using for their tactics role, you're using for logistics.
Sure. I'm gonna spend
Difficulty
3
is
more.
13.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna spend 3 more XP to bump my leadership to 7 as well.
Nice.
And so I needed a 13. I still have 2 edge and 3 plot points, so hopefully this goes well.
Went okay.
That's
Not bad.
8 plus 7 would
13.
be
No,
exact.
15.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, wait, that doesn't sound right. Yeah,
Yeah,
15.
15. My bad.
All right, so you get 1 degree of advantage.
I
Nice.
don't think it's worth it to try to re-roll this. I think I will stick with it. What do you guys think? Because I would have to roll into a 5 or a 6.
That's really hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it as is.
Okay. And
We
several
roll the
of
whole
your,
thing.
Yeah.
in several of your upcoming battles, your enemies will have lowered ammo reserves and pre-damaged armor.
Does this include the nightmare?
No, the Nightmare's a hero unit. It's not affected by your paltry tricks.
True.
Hey. You
And
know
AP
what?
really
I'm trying
needs-
to get all edge that I can against Trigger
And
James.
AP
That is
really
the
needs
worst,
that
right?
to be true because with 2 AC-20s, that thing cannot be carrying a lot of ammo.
This sounds like a man who's never seen an Ultra AC-20 in action.
Oh, fuck it.
That's
Well,
right.
Oh, wait. Oh, well, that's something that we'll
Solaris Knights viewers know about dealing 80 damage in 1 round on a 50-ton mech.
Hell yeah.
Boy.
Nothing left of it.
Yeah. No.
There's literally nothing left of that.
The 50-ton mech is the one firing that. 2 Ultra AC-20s on a Hunchback 2C.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I actually I have one. Is it an Ultra that I have on the hoplite?
No,
No,
it's an
those don't
LBX.
exist yet.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
no.
this is-
Ultra AC-20s do exist right now, just not in inner sphere space.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
Fantech.
Yeah. So they basically fire so fast they fire 2 sets of rounds at once.
That's gnarly.
Okay, let's do your intelligence gathering efforts. Sorry, I've actually forgotten in the chaos what you were aiming towards doing.
Getting information about Lafayette's. Getting reconnected with Lafayette.
Okay, that is going to be the most difficult of all these rolls so far.
Lovely.
I will need a streetwise
Oh,
Nice.
fun.
disguise or leadership roll from you.
Oh God.
I know which one you're gonna pick, I think.
Well, considering I'd have to spend points to get anything close to what I need to boost this. Yeah, is there a different DC for each of them?
No, they're all 13.
Okay. At one point I wanted to have streetwise as a thing. And tracking, not necessarily a thing.
I mean, are your agents out there physically looking for her?
So the way that I see it narratively, it's kind of like, yeah, they're gathering information to find
I mean,
her.
you've just said gathering information, which means it's not tracking.
Well,
The ones I offered you are the gathering information and moving through elements. Tracking is literally like if they were out there in small cargo planes trying to find the hidden Shangri-La Valley of Lafayette where she's staging all her aircraft at.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and use leadership because
Okay.
that's my highest of those ones that you.
All right, you pull your puppet strings. Let's see what it ends up at.
All right, let's see. Where's my dice? There they are. Okay. I still have edge and plot points. Come on, baby. Oh, that's
Wow,
lovely.
that was a terrible roll.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm.
So you want to get one. You only get to reroll once. So
I know.
good luck.
Come on, baby.
It's not bad.
It's much better. Much better.
So,
Could be worse.
yeah. So that's an 8.
It could have been a 1 and a 3.
Plus 6 is 14.
Okay. You can't contact her from here, but if you can break through to Northern Army Command or get close, like right before the battle, you could call for help. What do you think?
Nice. Okay. What kind of, how does that disseminate? Is
You
it
get
where...
they get you the frequency, but like the location that they're trying to get to, like they can't properly broadcast into and out of except through certain angles. And the capital city, is generating enough interference that you can't get there.
I kind of like the idea that
normally you'd use a satellite, but all the satellites
Right.
are exploded or belong to the Draconis Combine. So
I kind of feel like they've found they found like
they found you the codec channel. We're 100% Metal Gear Soliding now.
Yeah, I was thinking like
it's on the back of
ringing
the
sound.
CD case.
Yeah. I kind of imagine that they have like there's like a network of laser direct line, and the only way that we can do it is from a certain location.
Yeah, of course. The thrush has to knock on the last day of summer.
As long as you share that with us, I'll make sure that goes to Jasper or Garcia or whoever needs to get it.
Jasper.
Well, Jasper's the commander.
Garcia's basically written this off as like a suicide mission.
Fair.
Like you guys will basically die accomplishing this, and the Southern Army Command is going to roll it behind you.
Yeah, we're the vanguard.
Yes, that is what they think. Yes, you are the vanguard.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they have so much faith.
Right.
So yeah, I think we're gonna have the two lances, right?
All right. Writing down here. Can call for aerospace reinforcements. Are we good to meet next Sunday?
Sure.
Yeah.
My God, 2 episodes of this in a row? I don't know how to feel about it. Can we fucking do that shit? All right, we'll be back on the 13th. There will be a special episode of Solaris Nights that day as well. I don't want to say anything else, but I will be recording it and then immediately doing this show. So, yeah, take 3 experience points.
Sweet.
Next time we'll be walking in a battle. Not the final battle, but the battle before the final battle.
Battle before the battle of the final battle.
Nice.
Question: to get my gunnery up to rank 4, would that only cost me 8?
I don't know.
3 to 4. All right.
It should be on page
sure.
77.
To rank
look
up
it
to
up.
4 or 5 is new rank. Oh no, that's attribute shit.
Skill is 1.5 times the new rating. So what are you trying to get to? 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so that it requires 6 experience points.
Oh, it's even better. I could have done it before the experience. Sweet. I'm gonna have a gunnery of 2.
Okay, a lot of people do. Some consider a gunnery of 2 as one of the best in the inner sphere. That's what they say.
I could get up my reflexes to 5.
That would be expensive. That's 15.
Is it 15?
For attribute to 5 is new rank times 3.
Oh wow.
That's what I was thinking about spending mine on, but then I spent it all on boosting leadership and
Because
negotiation.
that would give me a piloting of 1 and a gunnery of 2.
Yeah, I was gonna get the reverse by doing that. Oh well.
All right. Well, I'll spend the 6 to get my gunnery to 4. So now, if I do end up ranking up with 15, I will have 1-1, which is pretty boss.
Any closing thoughts?
I love this game. Great to be back.
Yeah,
it's good.
Good to be back.
Right.
Can't wait to pierce the enemy's armor and prove Garcia wrong.
I just can't wait for Yusuf to die, dramatically throwing himself in front of his brother's mech. No, Jasper.
No, that's the job of the ensign, or no, the the squire. Yes, there we go. Thank you.
They both collide trying to block.
Yeah, they collide and bounce off, and Jasper gets the full force of damage.
Starts a decades-long feud between the House of Davies and the Azami.
I love it.
All right, that's it. We're out. Let me sew these two videos together with some super glue.